Hi, St. Chad's family. We're seeing God move in beautiful ways in our church, in growth. We're also seeing you as a very generous church that gives faithfully to the work of God and serves with so many people involved in volunteering. But we're at a point now financially where we need to turn to you and say, please will you prayerfully consider reviewing your giving so that we can maintain the momentum we have as a church. In February, I attended a conference and a seminar on giving and money and talking about money in church. Jesus talked about money more than most church leaders do, and that actually the members of churches want us to talk about money more than we do. So rather than apologise about talking about money, I want to apologise for not talking about it enough. Let's have a brief update on St. Chad's finances. Over the past few years, thanks to your generosity, the growth as a church, and inflation and other factors, our budget has grown substantially. We take a cautious approach with our budgeting, and I'm glad to say every year we come in under budget and we expend less than we planned to. And we've seen consistent growth in our giving. This meant that for a few years we had substantially more income than expenditure, including some generous legacies. And you can see that on this graph. The blue is how much we spent, and green represents the income that we received in those years. That means we have this second graph, the bank balance, the blue line of our bank balance over the last few years. And for a number of years, we had substantially more in the bank. And that led us as a PCC to prayerfully decide, what do we do about that? What our responses was, we wanted to invest in staffing, to reshape our team, to better support you in the ministry of the church. That's what our staff is about, overseeing and supporting ministry. We want to invest in the buildings. Every generation needs to be investing in the building for the next. We enjoy wonderful buildings because of the sacrificial generosity of those before us. Imagine what it cost to build St. Chad's in the first place. That was through congregational giving. And we don't believe in sitting on large lumps of cash and reserves. We believe that the money given should be invested for the kingdom, whilst also being wise about some reserves for challenging times. Our vision is to see more people more like Jesus, and that's definitely happening as we are glorifying God, loving community, and following Jesus. On Alpha launch on Tuesday, we had 20 people interested in doing Alpha. On Easter Sunday, we were at 11 o'clock, we were rammed, bursting out the doors. We had testimonies of lives transformed, and we pray like mad for our community, and we meet with our community in so many ways through the week, building connections, pointing them to Jesus. So at this point, the PCC have asked me to share with you a bit about money so that we can move forward. And we're asking you to pray, review, and let us know. First of all, please pray. Giving is worship. It's often costly and sacrificial, but we do so in obedience to Jesus. That's the primary motive for our giving, is we are giving as a worship to Jesus, and he calls us to give to the local church. Please review what you give. You may want to start giving. You may want to increase your giving. You may want to consider tithing, which is a 10% of your income you give to the local church and then give on top of that. You may want to say, well, I want to help St. Chad's invest in its building. I'll give a one-off gift. That would help us to do that. Also, legacies play a substantial part in our giving. Maybe if you're making a will, you want to consider whether St. Chad's might be part of that. Thirdly, please let us know. Please let Jane know in the next 3 weeks so that on the 10th of May we can celebrate together a growth in our giving, which will enable us to continue the momentum of our growth in ministry. Thank you for listening and being part of this.